Hey guys, RC here. First, I'm going to apologize if I sound a little down. Rough night last night. I think I got about 2 hours of sleep. Wasn't feeling really well, so I took the day off of work today. And I actually just woke up after finally being able to crash for, I don't know, about 5 hours. So literally just walked downstairs and got me something to drink here and the reason I'm doing the video is we're going to try to do another week, but also this is going to be some information on the wishbone. As I mentioned, I had sent some messages out to some people, and that's going to be the bulk of this video. So here we are. So let's kind of start like normal. Let's kind of get into, because when I get into the roster, then we're gonna look at some of the things that I have been told. So we won the game last week, 30-9. We are definitely seeing a uptick in our runs. Okay, and there we go. Let's check our emails. Um, Miller, our strong safety, won Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. Looks like we picked up three more recruits, guard, a defensive end, and a strong safety. And we lost, it looks like a long list, but keep in mind the asterisk players are the ones that we have offered scholarships to. So we lose two, pick up three, and that's going to be Pittman, Carter, and Zambrano. Let me make a note of that so we can look at these guys. Pittman, Carter, Zambrano. Alright, and the conference award. That's nice. Okay. I am going to come back up into options here. We had changed this. We had changed this back. Remember? We did that last episode. Because we went in and we were trying to play around with the getting our runs split up. All right. Now we've seen an increase. There we go. We've seen an increase in the number of runs. Our fullbacks have gotten a little more runs, and that's based on the playbook that we put together. So we did do a customized playbook. And if we go to game planning, you remember I created the playbook called My Wishbone, and I just threw some. Oh, that's a message I've been waiting for. I just threw just about every. Sorry about that. Got the morning crud. So that has just about all the wishbone plays in it. If we look at customize again, My Wishbone. So we've got a large number of plays, mostly running plays. It was the weight that we assigned to each, and that's where we're seeing some potential success with getting more carries to our fullback, for example, things of that nature. Now, I think in the next game, now we've got the week off, but so I'm not going to change this for now. Let's come to roster, and my third string quarterback got hurt with appendicitis this week. So if we go to depth chart, we're going to go to master depth chart. Fullerton Is he still... Okay, he's out. So see, the game should honestly, if you're out, the game should pull you out. That should not even be a question. Um, that's interesting. Um, so it's got Muller. So Augustine, Muller, and that would leave Mahrez last. Okay, now save before we leave that screen. All right, now we're going to get into some nuances that, first off, don't put stuff in the game that a normal person can't find. that's that's tough. I mean, to put stuff in the game. Oh, this is how you make that work. I never would have seen that probably in my lifetime. But let's go to Muller because he's going to be our main guy. Now, if you're playing in a multiplayer league, you won't be able to do this. You'll have to have your commissioner do it for you. But what we're going to do is we're going to come into the player card here and we're going to click on edit. And that opens up the player editor. And right here, do you want to make him a running quarterback? Yes, I do. Now, I'm not going to change, you can blow the player up and you can make him into a Superman by doing this. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I'm not going to cheat, but that is where this is. Here's also where you can change his jersey number. If you do want to edit players, this is where you do it. But that box right there, evidently, what this does, according to the information given to me, is if you click this, then it will have him get the ball more on running plays, not just on regular option plays, but on regular running plays too. So this means that I should be able to go back in my game plan and use the default option attack. And even though we know that there were other offenses, other formations in there, that this would be a way that the quarterback would see more runs. Now, I wonder, let's go to, he didn't tell me this, but let me go look here. My fullback, running back, fullback. Hinkle's my starter. Let's edit him. All right, now why a non-quarterback would have that, but you know what? I'm going to click that too, just on the chance maybe that feeds him the ball more. Now, did he change to a quarterback? No, he's still listed as a fullback, so that's fine. Hopefully that doesn't put him in at quarterback. That would be bad. In fact, you know what? Let's not even do that. I'm going to have to ask that question back. And in fairness, he said, hey, if you have any other questions, ask away. Now, let's take a quick look at recruiting. Muller. All right, now he's a clutch quarterback and a workout fanatic. So none of those guys have any specific specialties that really apply. Let's see, have we gotten a quarterback commit? Yes, we've gotten a few, so let's look at them. All right, we have two more workout fanatics, so neither one. But let's look at scouting report. So basically, we were on the right path that we want a high speed, a high agility. He recommends something in the 75 to 80 range. Now you can see while we have them scouted, we don't know what that is. All we have is descriptive words. Once they're on your roster is where you'll actually see the physical number rating. So that's something you'll want to keep in mind, and you'll have to evaluate for yourself. Does great, is that a 70? Is that a 60? Is that an 80? So 75 speed, 80 is better. Um, I think the freshman quarterback that we've got is a 74, and he's the highest out of any of my four quarterbacks. But you saw last game we did have or 2 games ago I think our quarterback actually ran the ball pretty well, just not very often, right? Okay. Now it also says if you do your interview and they pop up with the dual threat, then that is also going to help when coupled with everything else. Okay, and that makes sense. I mean, because we were actually looking for dual threat guys, right? Um, because what he's saying there is if they're dual threat, then basically the running quarterback option is already toggled on. At least he thinks it is. Now, that means if you recruit a dual threat and you don't want him running the ball a lot, then you may come in and unclick that for that player. Just something to think about. All right. Now, let's look at tackles. I've signed one tackle this year. Let's go ahead and look at him. So for your O-line, it makes sense. You want better run blockers for the option attack. Now, in this case, the guy is good both ways, exceptional and amazing. But you also want really good speed, because when you're running an option, what are your linemen doing? They're doing a lot of pulling. They're pulling out and swinging out wide on the sweeps and the option plays going outside. And it's a running play 90% of the time, right? So run blocking is very important. If you don't have good pass blockers, then you might have an issue passing out of the same formations. So that's something to think about. All right. I would say strength, still for blocking, strength is very important because that helps them hold on to blocks. And basically, what that speed does is it gets them to move outside to pick up any linebackers. Okay, if that makes sense. Let's take a look at guards that I have recruited. I've got one. Now, he's only got average speed, so that's not so great for what I do. And in fact, his run blocking is just pedestrian. So maybe he is not the guy that we want. Now, he is a remarkable pass blocker. Maybe that's good enough to get us to where we need to be to help us out, but it's hard to tell. So he doesn't really meet the criteria of players that we want. Now, centers are not going to be the ones typically pulling because they're snapping the ball, they're instigating the play, so they're going to basically still be the anchor in the middle of your line. Now, he's got great speed, but only decent agility, so maybe I move him to guard. All right, now let's see. Oh, 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, it's tax day here in America if you're not watching this in America. And my daughter is paying taxes for the very first time. So I am having her make the pilgrimage to the post office to mail off her her tax return. Um, and yes, I know we can file electronically, but one of her employers this past year screwed her over and did not withhold any taxes, and so she has to pay a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. So going back to this, so maybe what we can do is change him to a guard because he's got the better speed, and change that guard over to center. That could be possible. And again, he's unique and great, so I think we've got a solid run blocker here as well. So that's something to think about. The other thing is when you are looking at your receivers, all right, so we got one receiver committed, exceptional run blocking, great pass blocking. So on running plays, he can be split out wide, but he can still get up there and block his secondary player. And so that's, again, you don't normally look at that, but blocking receivers is very important for the option, at least according to what I've been told. They said you might even line up fullbacks and tight ends at wide receiver if necessary to have the better blockers. So that's just some information that he's throwing out there. So I think what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video short, and we'll just kind of put this up as some option suggestions instead of the actual normal week. And then we'll come back in the next video. We'll pick up the normal week, and then we've got the bye week. And then what I'm thinking about doing is going in to my game plan, and because I have switched it, but I think what we'll do is we'll do one game with this setup, with my playbook, and then we'll come back in and we'll go in with the option and maybe that spread attack again that I was kind of interested in, because I like the spread too. Maybe we'll do the option and then the spread on passing situations, and have all of our quarterbacks toggled over to be runners, and see what that does. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and reply back to my buddy here and see if he can give me any insight as to the fullback and toggling him as a running quarterback, if that will get him more runs as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and cut that off. I hope that was helpful. I hope it's helpful. I was really excited when I woke up this morning and had that message from him, and gave me some feedback. So that was really awesome. So my thanks to Bandit, who's my friend's forum name. And so we're going to, again, we'll label this one as option input or option ideas, and we'll go from there. We'll pick up in the next video back into the games. So you guys take care. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.